The day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I'm the preacher here at the West Side Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible and study the Word of God. Today is daylight savings, so if you think it's 6 o'clock, you're wrong. It is 7 o'clock. Spring forward an hour. So, um, reminder: don't be late to church. But if you want to join me for verse of the day, we're in Romans chapter 14. Romans chapter 14. And we're going to start in verse 7 and work our way through verse 9. Romans 14, starting with verse 7. It says, "For not one of us lives for himself, and not one dies for himself. For if we live for the Lord, or if we die for the Lord. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. For to this end Christ died and lived again, that he might be Lord both of the dead and of the living." We're to be serving God no matter what. As you start off this chapter, it gets into the point of making sure we're not being judgmental with our brethren, that we're not judging them or being a stumbling block to them. And I want to make a key point, and I know I use the New American Standard most of the time I do these, not always, but most of the time. And that's what I'm using today. In verse 1 of chapter 14, it says, passing judgment on his opinions, not on doctrine, not on what is sin, not what one must do in order to be saved, what one must do in order to worship our God, but on a matter of opinions. And it goes and talks about foods, and it talks about drinks, and it talks about observing certain days. And so, as you live your life, you want to be a vegetarian, go for it. If you don't ever want to eat any vegetables and you just want to eat meat, go for it. If, again, you celebrate holidays, but you don't, force them, you don't bind them, you don't make them religious, and you don't add to the God, word of God, go for it. Right. And so, it's just going forth and telling us, some people do this, some people do that. Why are we making a big deal about that? Why are we pushing brethren away because of these issues right here? Right? Again, not about what the word of God tells us one must do in order to be saved. Let's make that clear. But in everything we do, it still should be to the Lord, right? Even in those small things, as we eat our food, our breakfast, lunch, dinner. Um, Though it's not, a religious worship as we might put, or, it doesn't matter if you eat the steak or if you eat the salad, we're still giving praise to God, right? We're still giving thanks to the Lord. He's the one that still blessed us with both of them. He blessed us with the ability to plant and to grow and to have those things. He blessed us with the animals to be able to take care of them, to have dominion over them, and gave us permission to eat them. And so, whichever way you do it to the Lord. So, as we live our lives each and every day is to God. And if we die to the Lord also. We look forward to being with Him. And certainly in the manner of it in this time that they were willing to die in his name, literally, you know, being stoned to death because of their faith. And so we too must have a faith like that to live for God and to die for God. So I want to thank you for joining me again. And I invite you to come join us at Westside. Our Bible class starts at 9:30, our worship at 10:30, evening service at 5 p.m. Thank you again. If the Lord's willing,